Hey guys, Jay here, and today I want to talk a little bit about my conclusion on Simulacrum. So I have done until this point 24 simulacrums. I have completed the 23 and then I'm currently doing the 24th, which is currently in the wave 27 here. So far the job has been very good, very good, where we have two different kind of job that I want to specifically differentiate from each other. In this case, for example, if you can see here, this is the consistent income that we can have from the simulacrum, which are just a lot of things: div cards, currency, quality gems, maps, tons of maps, including guardians. We have fossils, we have fragments, we have stack decks, a lot of stack decks. We have fragments, immortal fragments here. We have a lot of essences. Right, as you can see, that is everything that you can expect to have. Right, these are all from the simulacrum I've run so far. Right, so I want to give a little bit of a conclusion on how much I've made with this strategy. I think 20 simulacrum, which right now is 24, is enough of a sample size for a content like simulacrum, because the nature of this content is, it takes roughly around 20 to 30 minutes to complete a 30 wave simulacrum, because you cannot skip the early wave. You have to do from wave 1 to wave 30. So that is that will take you somewhere from 30 seconds to 1 minute per wave if you're doing it efficiently. This build I am playing is doing very efficient for simulacrum. There are a few rare cases where we are facing a situation where we are soloing a boss. With the previous setup, I could not effectively kill a boss very quickly. It would take probably 5 minutes if I want to AFK on my own just to kill a boss. But with the current setup, I can deal with a boss in a solo situation with Cosis, with Omniphobia in less than 1 minute. So I think that is sufficient enough, because most of the time, as you can see, like in this case, they are spawned in the middle of a huge amount of monsters surrounding them. So they got the chieftain explosion, the ignite from the chieftain explosion, so they take a huge bunch of damage from there, and they just die almost instantly. So that is not something that we need to worry about. 8 passive, alright. I'm not sure how much that worth, but let's just pick it up. There's a split personality. Let's just quickly take a look. This I don't think is worth anything. Alright, let's just drop it. Right, here is the wave 30. And let's talk about the outcome of the strategy first. So here in the Wealthy Exile is the tool that I am using to calculate the amount of currency that I earned from the items that I have in my stash. Here I select the stack deck, which is a big part of the income. I selected all the scarabs, all the essences, all the immortal fragments, all the breach stones, which are dropped from accumulating the splinters, and all the sacrifices. They comes in a very large quantity. The only currency that I am selecting is the Orb Anoman and the Ancient Orb. Right here I don't select any Chaos, any Divine, but disclaimer, that is not 100% correct. We in fact earn much more than that, and I will explain in the later part of the video. But as you can see, just from the few selected things that we are selecting, as you can see from the drops of the last 3 waves that I just did as well, you can see that I dropped a lot more than just essences and scarabs and the stack deck, right? A lot of div card, even high value one. Sorry. Fossils were not included in this selection. Maps, we dropped just a huge amount of maps that weren't included in this selection. The maps can also be bulk sell very easily, and they are like probably around like 10 chaos each for like Mesa and Atoll, Jungle Valley, you know, the maps that people normally try to want to do. I'm not sure which one are they right now, but at least those come in mind. They can be easily sold in bulk for a large amount of money, right? But they are not included here. I have not selected any maps here whatsoever. No fossils, no resonator, anything, and we are at currently 148 divines. We just finished the 24th, right? Let's just keep this one, everything here out of the equation. We finished the 24th Simulacrum, so the total profit is 148 divided by 24. That is a little bit above 6 divine per Simulacrum. -1, this is the profit from the things that we selected per Simulacrum. And let's say at a rather slow speed, we do 2 Simulacrum per hour. This is already 10.3 divine per hour, easily. And if we do factor in the currency drops, the other sales that I made from all the Megalomaniac, all the cluster jewels, and even the voices that dropped, I do have a 3 passive voices, which is 0.6 mirror, 0.6 mirrors, which is around 700 divines, but I will not include that in the calculation. It is dropped in the 22nd Simulacrum that I've done, so 2 Simulacrum ago. If we factor in the other things that got sold, just the other thing that got sold, then we have roughly 100 more divine. Just the currency here from the raw drops, from the things that got sold for 10 divine or 8 divines or more, it is roughly, I would estimate, around 100 divine. So that brings the profit to, this one is 248. Now we have -1, and then we times 2 because we do 2 Simulacrum per hour, and that is 18.6. So this strategy in practice is easily more than 20 divine per hour. It is quite hard to have the exact calculation of how much money we have, because there are so many, there is just a very large variety of loot that drops, so it's very hard to calculate. But you know, in reality, I have tried it, and a lot of the people actually have tried it, and you can ask other people if you want to, but I think they will come to the same conclusion as I do, is without the big boy drops, you will still have like roughly 10 divines profit per Simulacrum with the current prices of everything, and that equals to roughly 20 divines per hour. Right, so get a little bit to the pros and cons of the Simulacrum. First of all, the pros, just, you know, shameless plug in here. For my build, it is an AFK total, almost absolutely AFK playstyle, which I do not have to worry about anything, so it's very nice. I can do things on the sides, it doesn't matter. So AFK, if you have the right sort of build, I have a build guide for this character. I will leave a link in the description, so make sure to take a visit if you are interested in how I set up this character to be able to actually just AFK and explode everything around me and farm Simulacrum very efficiently. Right, next one is a very good consistent profit. As you can see, just a part of the profit is already like 5 divine per Simulacrum. Just the consistent stuff that is dropping like all the time already equals to at least 5 divine per hour. Just keep in mind that I don't even include the maps, the fossils, a lot of things I didn't include it into the equation. You can drop like 2120 gems, some of them are multiple divines. You can also drop good Megalomaniac. You can drop very good jewel base quickly, just to check POE.ninja, to check the price of the cluster jewel, because in the Simulacrum, in the last 20 wave, you can drop a eye level 84 jewels or above. You can see just the base jewel here. If you drop any kind of these, you have a few divines to even 60 divine for this specific jewel, right? That is very good profit, very nice thing if you have dropped for some extra profit. Big ticket possibility, as I already said, you can have like 60 divine jewel drop there, pretty decent chance. You can also are lucky, like for example I did, when you have a good voices for 3 or 1, even 1 passive. 1 passive is currently like 2.4 mirrors or something, so it is even rarer than a mirror. But do not expect it to drop, but if it dropped, then congratulations. But the 3 voices dropped. At least I have 1 dropped. For 0.6 mirror is also a very nice, very big ticket item. I have known a few people who have dropped the 3 voices. The 1 voices are very rare, so you know that is just a dream. Still, you dream for the you can aim for just repeatedly farming, and then I think eventually you will have at least like a 3 passive one, while still making a good profit without the drop, without the big drop, right? Next one on the pros is it will be nerf resistant. At least in my opinion, it will pretty much 99.99% will not be touched at all as a strategy in the next league, because the dominant strategy of this league is revolving around magic find and the affliction mechanic. So the affliction mechanic juiced up the map with a huge amount of quantity and rarity, and it goes on top of all the other sources of quantity and rarity from the maps and from the character and from the mechanics like the abyss, the everything else. It equals to a huge amount of quantity and rarity, which translate into even the currency conversion loot drop. That is a whole complicated thing that I do not want to touch in this video. But just to know, this strategy is not related to any of those, so it would probably not be touched by GG at all. So you can expect to have good profit with this strategy as long as you have a build that can handle the content. Simulacrum. Very little prepare required. Very little. You just have to get the Simulacrum. You have them by farming yourself, which is not reliable because it takes quite a lot of time to actually accumulate the number of splinter to be able to make a Simulacrum. It is 300 splinter, but you can buy them, right? You buy a Simulacrum and that's everything you have to do. You don't have to roll them. They cannot be rolled. You don't have to prepare 16. You not have to prepare the Atlas. You do not have to prepare Scarabs. You do not have to go on the Affliction and get all the Wisp. You do not have to worry about taking all the outer before you trigger any kind of leak mechanic event in the map. You do not have to wait for the Abyss to spawn the rare monster and then kill the Spire later, yada, you know, a lot of things in preparation for just juice mapping, or even for, like, for example, AFK and Go mapping. You still have to AFK the map. This you do not even have to do that, right? So yeah, very little preparation. Just play the game, just get into the Simulacrum. You buy a Simulacrum, get into the Simulacrum, kill all the monster, loot at the end. They are all bunched together in one big pile of loot, then repeat next wave. Very nice playstyle. There is no like micro management whatsoever. Just when your stash is filled, you just dump it to the stash. It is already in a Simulacrum. You don't even have to portal out. That is very nice, right? For the cons, first of all, you have to bulk sell to, you know, realistically make good profit from the Simulacrum. Luckily, we have different ways to deal with the bulk selling right now. So you either use the Wealthy Exile like I do here. For example, you tick like for example, if I want to sell a stack deck, I tick the stack deck and then book sell, choose a multiplier. This depends on how much extra profit you want to have. If you you know, because when you bulk sell, you normally can sell for a higher price because people want to save time and they want to buy in large quantity, so they are willing to pay a premium for just buying in large quantity. So that's why you can actually put a multiplier on here, right? And then you list it up, wait for someone to, you know, ask you to buy, and then just sell in bulk. Quite convenient. And you also can use TFT. I personally am not a user of TFT, so I'm not sure if how does it work in there, but from what I heard from people, it is quite convenient. Regardless of all the dramas and stuff going on, the book selling is still quite convenient in the TFT, so you can use that as well. Right, next one is this strategy depends on the Simulacrum supplies. So as I already mentioned, it's not realistic for you to farm a Simulacrum and then just run the Simulacrum yourself. It will take a lot of time and it will be just like a pain in the ass, right? So the best way is just to buy the Simulacrum. So that is why you are dependent on the supply of Simulacrum. I don't think a lot of people will be able to, you know, reliably farm this content like repeatedly, because it does have a certain requirement of character strength. As the last cons here is also build reliant, it, you know, it just requires a specific level of defense and offense to effectively and you know, efficiently farm the Simulacrum. So this is a potential cons, but I don't think it will be a big issue because there are too many players who play POE, and eventually each one will, you know, have a certain amount of splinter, and, you know, eventually it becomes Simulacrums and you can buy it from them. There are just many people who have Simulacrum on sale for one divine. They only have 1 or 2 of them. But if you want to spend the time, or if you want to buy in bulk, you can actually find in bulk and see a price that you can accept, and then you can buy them. Right, just like that. Some quick note for extra profit. So bring the gems to level up in your weapon swap. Simulacrum is a very good source of experience. I don't think it is quite as close to like 5 ways, but it is still very good experience. So leveling your gems and then maybe corrupt them, fishing for like a level 4 empower, enhance, enlighten, or a level 21 gems, depend on which stage you are at a league, is some nice extra profit. Just bring them in your offhand, why not? And then in the Simulacrum you will drop a bunch of incubators as part of the Legion reward, the Legion Delirious layer reward. Just use them on yourself. You don't bother like selling them or anything, just use them, because they sometimes drop nice things. I have got actually a few divines, raw divine drops from those. Why do I know they drop from the incubators? Because they drop in the middle of a fight. The other loot from Simulacrum can only drop at the end of the fight. So I'm sure I have like at least 3 divines drop from just the incubators I've done so far in the 24 Simulacrums that I have completed. Right, so yeah, I think that is everything I want to talk about in this video about Simulacrum. I will continue this video with a little bit more information about my build, my character, because I released a build guide video just yesterday. So the price have changed, basically, to sum up the situation. I am quite surprised how many people actually want to try this build. So just before I go to sleep, you have like 20 of these in the market for 1 divine each. Right now they are very limited in supplies. You probably would not be able to buy these for 1 divine. This one, 50 divines already. Holy shit. It also was 1 divine. Since the start of the league until this point, it is always 1 divine or less than 1 divine. In fact, I bought 2 of mine for 1 divine for both. Of course, this is much earlier, but you know, I am very, very surprised on how impactful a video can be to the market, because my channel is a very, very small channel. Just yesterday is like 150. Right now, I think because of the video on the AFK Simulacrum, I do get quite a few more subscribers, so it's over 200. But it's still a very, very small channel. But by some miracle, it actually still affects the market in a negative way. I don't know what I can do. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm sorry for the people who wants to try this build, and from the information I talk about in the build guide video, the prices are much cheaper for a lot of things. These one are the standout. You also have the precursor rings with 1 maximum endurance charges. This one was, there are like 10 of them for 5 divine, 10 divines yesterday, but currently the cheapest one just with the maximum endurance charge is 20 divine already, so the price is also already went up. These 2 are just recently online, I think, and I think the roll on them are probably bad, the other rolls. Yeah, this one is complete. These 2 are completely useless stat. So this ring is effectively as good as a Combs sign in this build in particular. This one also, we don't need attack speed, don't need endurance charge on kill here, so they are completely useless, long story short. Yeah, so the items price are pretty much, in this case the ring, tripled, and in even like 5 times more expensive. And also in the case of the jewel, this is 50 times more expensive, and there are none of them to buy actually. This one 20 times more expensive. I was going to make a video on a budget setup, but at this point I don't think there is a point to that. It was supposed to be a sub 10 divines character, and I actually bought a few of the gears for it already, but at this point I don't think it is necessary to do that, because this officially becomes a sort of expensive character anyways. So the only thing that we can cut out of the build and it still function is probably the corruptions. Or the Mage Blood. You can, if you don't have the money for the Mage Blood, you can have a rare belt with the sort of flask like this, because in the Simulacrum you get hits like constantly, so this will basically have almost 100% uptime on your flask almost all the time, unless you are unlucky and you are left with like the bosses alone. That is unfortunate. Right, so yeah, I think that is everything I want to talk about in this video. Again, TLDR, the Simulacrum is very profitable. Do it if you can, and it's enjoyable if you have the right sort of build. And also, second TLDR, I'm sorry for everyone who is late to the party when it comes to want to try out this build in Simulacrum. Just in general. Okay, last but not least, let's do one bonus thing on this character. Let's do the form. The form is the only thing that I have here. I have the form. The feared, I do not have the bosses required for the feared yet, so I cannot do the fear. But I don't think fear is a problem as well. But let's do the form, see how the build function in content other than the simulacrum. I will stand in the exact middle of the arena. Right, is this the exact middle? Alright, this is the exact middle of the arena, and that is everything that I do. You should not bring this character to like Uber bosses or anything, but for anything beside that, it is pretty damn good. I am currently testing out the molten shell, right? Instead of the immortal core. So before I used immortal core, but now I am using molten shell. Seems to be no difference actually, but the molten shell doesn't remove the endurance charge, so I can use the molten shell better alongside of the Death's Door boots if I want. Radakesh is still very comfy, a lot of quality of life for what it is, but for one more endurance charge, for pushing the limit, I would have to say that the Death's Door is slightly better in numbers, slightly better. And also having 11 charge is more cool than having 10 charges. I have a pair here. I am not even sure if there is anything else. Let's say we do this for offline. I think there will be a few pairs. Yes, 50 divine. I put this on 200 divine not because I think the price is there, but first of all, it's the only foil one that has the +1 endurance charge. Secondly, I do not really want to sell it. I want to keep it just as a nice item to have. Just put it there. Alright, actually, you know what? That's just making sure it's not getting sold by putting it on one mirror. If someone is brave enough to buy this thing for one mirror for some reason, you can have it. Alright, so that is everything I want to talk about today in this video. Thanks you guys for watching. It has been such a experience so far from when I start doing the content. So right now this channel is still very small, but I do hope that it can grow into something bigger in the future. I will continue to try to put out as much content as I can. Probably like a video every 1 or 2 days, depend on what is the point in the league. The next period, I will probably also try out Last Epoch, making content on Last Epoch, because I did play the game, the Last Epoch game before. I have like over 400 hours in Last Epoch. I bought it like quite a long time ago at the beta testing stage. Is much different from now. The campaign, even the campaign, is different from what it is right now, and it is a very nice game, very promising game, just to do, you know, in the off time of POE. But I am not burnt out of POE yet, and I will continue to make POE content at least in the short future. So thanks everyone for watching, and if you enjoy this content, if you think it is helpful or interesting in any way, please consider to like and subscribe to the channel. It does help me a great amount. And see you in the next video. Peace.